Andre Dirrell of the United States with an 11-9 lead heading into the third.
See, Dirrell likes to counter, but he's smart enough to understand the landscape, read the map of what he can and can't do. He knows he can't counter right now with Ha because he's not cooperating. Ha's using his legs. How are you going to counter somebody who's not coming forward? So that's why you got Dirrell pressing, changing up, going into second gear. Dirrell understands that if he steps back and looks for the counter, this fight might get away from him. So he's taking charge right there behind the jab, Bob.
Caution given to Ha. Hitting with the palm. You have to use the white portion of the gloves, not the palm of the glove. If you get 3 cautions for the same infraction, that's a warning, and 2 points are added to your opponent's score. 3 warnings of the same infraction would result in disqualification.
See, we have to concentrate ourselves to see when Dirrell is switching from orthodox to southpaw. We have to really keep our thinking caps on. You can imagine how difficult it is to his opponent. 1 second he's a righty, the next second he's lefty.
I would think, though, Ted, it would have to help Ha a little bit. In fact, he did meet Dirrell in that test event, so he kind of saw that awkwardness.
Exactly, Bob. He's had a peek. Again, watch for Dirrell. You've heard me talking about this switching, but make sure that he switches from the right distance.
Ha has been cautioned for the 2nd time in this round for hitting with the palm of the glove.
See, if Dirrell switches from too close, and there's a good left hand from the southpaw position. Now, right in front of me, switched again. Now he's back to orthodox. Dirrell, now that's working for him, but it can be dangerous. And right there he got caught. You don't want to switch those feet from too close because your bottom's not set, the top's not set.
Andre Dirrell got tagged at the end of the third round, but a good third round for the 20-year-old. Earlier in the round, he was forcing the action.
He knew that Ha was using his legs, so he knew if he didn't come forward, there'd be no fight.
Andre Dirrell letting his hands go, Teddy.
And those quick hands, Bob. And those are the spots where he can take advantage of that physical asset, speed. And again, the old-timers and the amateur coach, that's shoe shining, but he got caught on top. You drop your hands to punch, you can leave upstairs open. But the shoe shining is just to score, catch the eyes of the judges. Those are those quick flurries downstairs, Bob.
4th and final round for Andre Dirrell and Jabatir Ha. One thing about shoe shining, Teddy, is that it's usually to the body, and body punches in amateur boxing just don't seem to register with the judges in the computerized scoring.
You're right, Bob, but what they can do is on the back end they can pay off. What I mean by that is they can set up something to the head. In other words, you can kind of hypnotize your guy, and that's exactly what Dirrell's trying to do. Hypnotize him with the speed downstairs and set him up upstairs.
Ha hanging right in there, though. As you can see, he's within 4 points.
And if you people at home are confused sometimes by the scoring and you see a number go up and you didn't really connect it with a punch, well, you can join me. I get confused too sometimes how these numbers pop up. Remember, 3 out of 5 judges must hit that keypad within 1 second to register a blow. So even though we see it register and we know it's clean, our eyes don't lie to us, doesn't mean that the judges got it down in time.
That's one of the reasons why amateur boxers will try to keep the action near the middle of the ring, because the 5 judges are spread out around the ring, and you want to give the most possible judges a clear view of your work.
Planning can be as important as your plain old skill.
Well, Dirrell, after being pressed by Ha in the first round, has come back in convincing fashion over the final 3 rounds to seize control.
And You know what? The coaches of this team have done a good job of the U.S. team with Dirrell. They made sure he didn't really switch too much from enclosed where he could get nailed. They made sure he was out of range.
And there's the bell to end the bout between Andre Dirrell of Flint, Michigan, and Davitir Ha, the 27-year-old from China. And the butterflies for Andre Dirrell, competing on the first day of the Olympic Games, and got through that first round, and Dirrell did a very nice job, and both guys mixed it up in that fourth round, Teddy.
And the quicker hands, at least far as seemed to be Dirrell. And there you could see Dirrell looking for that counter, looking for a little help from Ha to come forward with his upper body, not his legs. And that's where Dirrell was looking to do a lot of scoring.
So Andre Dirrell, who will turn 21 in September. He doesn't know the score. It's not posted in the arena. And Andre Dirrell comes up with the victory against Davitir Ha. So Andre Dirrell of the United States is able to advance to the second round of the Olympic Games. Andre Dirrell comes up with the victory. More boxing action coming up after this timeout from Athens. Welcome back to the Olympic Boxing Hall. Bob Papa, Teddy Atlas. Andre Dirrell, the 20-year-old from Flint, Michigan, wins his first bout of these games, a 25-18 decision over Davitir Ha. Handling the interviews for us during the competition is Kenny Rice. He's standing by with Andre Dirrell.
Andre Dirrell has won his first bout in business-like fashion. Andre, you started out early in this. It looked like you were trying to figure out maybe what he was going to show you in that first round.
Well, you know, fighting him before in pre-Olympics, he was a hard fighter. And I knew what I was running into, so I had to really try to set my punches up. And he's throwing wild, so I'm figuring out how to get in there. And I found a way to get inside, and I worked it up on the last round. Worked to the last round.
About the second round and then the third round, you were switching styles a little more. Looked like you were trying to lure him into the trap.
Well, you know, he had his hands moving, you know, constantly. He was all, so I decided to switch it up on him. You know, I was going right-handed for a little bit, but it was just a little intimidation for him, you know, to have him a little frightened. But, you know, the first fight was, you know, it was slow, just like it always is. But, you know, I'm going to take it to him the rest of these fights.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, day one of the competition continues here in Athens. More boxing after this timeout.